Welcome back to the Precision Trader. Just wanted to do another order book session for the stock market, September 30th. If you're not familiar with previous videos, again, order book allows us to see where the buyers and sellers are sitting in the order book, ready to get their orders filled. So with that said, it's a leading indicator. It gives us truly. It's an unfair advantage, to be honest with you. I wish more people knew about it. I mean, it frustrates me that it took me as long as it did for me to find it. So with that said, that's my goal here, to try to, get as many people with this knowledge as I can, and help as many people, because I can tell you right now, it is. I mean, I have multiple indicator courses, and I can tell you right now, this, I've got some good ones, but this is number one. Yeah, you gotta, this right here just works, makes all the other indicators work extremely well. It gives you the primary confirmation that you need. So with that said, we're going to start out with SPXL. Of course, we know that this is from previous videos, triple leveraged ETF of the SPY. Unfortunately, the SPY has so many buyers and sellers that it's just very unreadable. But thankfully, the SPXL gives us more clear insight. So with that said, we know that markets tend to gravitate towards large levels of liquidity, and they tend to reject off of them, and then make their attempt to absorb all the buyers or sellers at that area. So prime example here, start of the day 113. What was this? 436 on the SPY, 437. Yeah, somewhere in there. With that said, tons of sellers here, and sure enough, they rejected hard. Rejected the stock back hard, and then we ended up getting under the VWAP. And of course, we know from previous videos, education, that once we get up under the VWAP and we start getting rejection candles under there, what do we start looking for? We start looking for the next major level of liquidity. Now, honestly, today you don't see a lot of days like this. Until this came right here at 108 and 107, until this came in the book early in the day, which here I'll show you in the server where I mentioned it to the guys, and how this was potentially a fall through the floor situation that we were looking at. Had some really nice call out in the servers today. Wax gave us nice swing play on Netflix, and then we shorted it big time. All right, so let's see here. Let's get to the start of the day. Let's see here. Okay, so this is where we start. We'll look at Netflix here in a minute. Talked about how we were looking to short Netflix at 610. But with that said, it started above 16 to start the day. So that order was irrelevant. But with that said, we were looking for the push to 620 to 625 on Netflix because of the liquidity there. It's been flashing for the past week or two. And I've been saying now for over a week that the 620, 625 liquidity, it's coming. Just a matter of when. So with that said, ready for the short scalp on 619 to 620 on Netflix. Okay, here's where we talked about shorting at the big liquidity on SPXL at that 113, 114. It could be, and if it didn't hold 110 and 111, we could fall through the floor, and that's exactly what we ended up doing today. Which our other indicators gave us some nice. If you can see here today, we were looking for. Brought out in our pre-market prep that we were looking for SPY to either pump to 440. Let's see here. We're likely to pump to 440 or dump to 430 today. So it was not going to continue to hang out around the 21 MA weekly, or the equivalent of that was the 100 MA daily. So we were going to get movement today. It was just a matter of which was it going to go to 440 or was it going to go to 430? So ended up getting 430. So yeah. So with that said, that was our call outs for today. Looked like started buying the dip at 109. Also two buyers coming at 107, and then took profit on that, and then brought out that 107, 108, which was 429, 430. We sent this out around the middle of the day. Yeah, a little bit before noon, said that looked like our bottom for the day, and sure enough, that ended up being the case. But why could we say that? Well, we could say it was likely the bottom of the day because there was a lot of buyers there. So with that said, that was what the overall market was showing us, and of course, we always like to trade with the overall market in mind. So let's go look at some other stocks here. Let's start with what was one that Lucid. All right, Lucid. Now, how valuable would it have been if you're in Lucid to have known that, there was a lot of sellers at 27 and 28. And then, of course, what happens here? We get up under the VWAP. We start getting rejection candles. What does that mean? Heading to the next major level of liquidity or buyers. And sure enough, that's where we're headed. Of course, where was the next major level? At 25. 25. So you're somebody wanting to buy the dip, wanting a good entry on Lucid today. It wasn't the guys that were buying up here at 27 and 26 now. The buy-in was $25. Now, of course, once it got there, we bounces off of those buyers. But unfortunately, sellers come right back in at 25.70 under the VWAP. And yeah, that was, of course, there's always, when you're below the VWAP, there's always going to be sellers at it. And yep, that was it for Lucid. Yeah, that was it. Let's see, another one we played today. Remember, we in our pre-market or the plays that we sent out, we're looking for the push to 620 to 625. And again, why were we looking for the push to 620 to 625? Again, I've been looking at this liquidity for the past 2 weeks, and 9 out of 10 times when you see these big levels of buyers and sellers at a level, the stock makes its way to them. I mean, it's like gravity. Market makers want to move to levels of liquidity to get orders filled, and it's just part of the business. All right. So with that said, like I said, we were shorting at, again, we said start shorting the 618. Was it 618 to 620 was the short range. It sure enough got in there, ended up dumping all the way back down to 610. So a nice $9 rejection there. With that said, whenever I see a situation where it comes, this situation came up just short of the liquidity. When I see that, almost every single time it goes back to retest the liquidity, almost every time. So, because again, I want to see it push into that liquidity a little bit. In this case, it came up just short of it, but at the same time, that's why we got in a little bit ahead of that, just in the event that it dumped. The sellers started dragging down their orders, and that's exactly what they did. So with that said, we were looking for the re-entry. Remember, we said we're looking for re-entry at 620, and let's see if we got it. Let's see here. No, that was our only. I thought we had 2 entries today. No, I guess that was our that was our only entry. I thought we had another opportunity at it. No, I guess that was it. But anyway, with that said, yeah, like I said, a great return on that one. I'm thinking about yesterday when it was, yesterday at 610. We had 2 entries at 610 yesterday. Yeah. So Netflix has been good to us this week. So with that said, we see that it pushed back up to, and this is another thing too, when I know that, another rejection is coming, this big old level of liquidity, and then we have more sellers come in, start building up in front of it. I mean, that's all but guaranteed that you're going to get at worst, a nice little, $2 to $5 scalp rejection off of that level. And sure enough, it comes up here right to it. Sellers, yeah, a lot of sellers there, and they reject it all the way back down to 611. So let's see here. What else did we mess with today? Oh yeah, trade another one. I traded AMC. Traded that at the end of the day. Started. Thankfully, one of the guys gave me a heads up. See, that's another reason why would love to have more guys in the server, so we can all be looking out for all these situations, so we don't miss any of them. Make some pretty easy money. With that said, this was AMC. Now, I can tell you right now, this, for anyone wanting to buy the dip, I mean, look at all of the buyers at 33 to 34. Yeah, that was to buy the dip. I mean, it was loaded with buyers. So no coincidence that it holds that all day long. And finally, at the end of the day, we start getting a little, looks like a mini squeeze here. Ends up squeezing all the way up to squeezing up to, so our first stop was 38. We got a dollar or so rejection there, but really the target was 40 to 41, and that's why well, here, I'll show it to you. That's why we signaled in the server to let's see here, scalping, short scalping AMC at 39, between 39 and 41. And then we ended up taking profit on it at 39 after it rejected back down. Let me get back to it. So yeah, now again, why? Again, when everybody else is, all these people are just blindly just piling in, oh, it's at 39, it's 40, it's about to squeeze. It's like, no, was I worried about it squeezing to the moon? By no means. Why was I not? Because again, there's had massive levels of sellers here at between 40, starting at 40 and going to 42. So for me, it was, I was extremely confident in this short. And, that's why I told the guys, get out at 39, because you can see here, the buyers started coming back in the book at 39, 38, 39. So we took quick profit off of that. And that was, easy money. So like I said, that was AMC. Lucid, that was another one that getting some popularity. Now, if I'm in Lucid, wait, did we already? We already talked about Lucid. Came down here on this $25. That was that was easy money. Let's see, Tesla. What did Tesla? Scariest stock in the stock market, most would say, or the scariest one to trade, swing trade and scalp. But if you got an order book, it where the buyers and sellers are, it makes life makes life a lot easier with your Netflixes and your AMCs and your GMEs. Yeah, come on. I don't understand why I'm not getting my feed. Well, it don't make sense. Traded all day long. I don't know why it's not showing. Well, okay. You don't want to give it to me. Well, with that said, I wanted to show you Netflix. Any others? Coin. All right. Remember, was it yesterday's video, day before, mentioned how 225, good by the dip. If you want to get a nice little bounce scalp. Well, what do we have here? Starts the day. Coin drops, first and foremost, drops to 225. They buy it all the way back up. Gets on top of the VWAP. Where's it heading? To the next major level of liquidity. Where's that at? 229, 230. Loaded with sellers there. They knock it back down. They try to come back in, try to push it back up. Sellers again, when you see this, when you see another level of sellers come in the book below a major level, I mean, I'm trying to think if I've seen a situation where it didn't get knocked back down. I mean, it's pretty guaranteed. But anyway, so with that said, knocks it down, and then another line of sellers comes down and push back, and more sellers come in. What's that tell me? It's going to get knocked down even more, and then we get up under the VWAP and we start rejecting. Of course, once you get that, where's it heading? Next major level below, and of course that ended up being 225. See, it comes right down to these sellers right here, 225. They push it right back up to the VWAP. Finally, you see buyers starting to come back in above this major level, right in here. Good sign that we're going to push on top of the VWAP. And then once we get on the VWAP, our next major level that we're looking for, back to 229, 230. And that's exactly where it went and rejected. Right. So again, this is almost like taking candy from a baby. So with that said, we'll shut her down there. Needless to say, if you're not using there's finally Tesla. Finally wanted to grace us with its presence. We'll do a quick one right here. Get on the dollar increments for Tesla. Because again, with big caps, you want to try to stick to the dollar increments, sometimes the 50 cents, depending on, especially if it's slower part of the day. With that said, Tesla, yeah, we see that we pushed up to this major level of first and foremost, this was the first major level here at 787, knocks it all the way back down to 782 at the VWAP. Finally pushed it all the way back up to 788 or 789. And it was just loaded with sellers. Yeah. Again, situation like this, in my indicator course, I'll break down all the strategies with the order book, but at the same time, it's, this is a 100% wait and see, take profit and see. Okay. So if you're in this, you write it up, take your profit right here. And then once it can prove that it can get on top of this liquidity, which the problem with this was you had sellers loaded at every $1 increment. So it wasn't looking good for the push higher. Now, if you'd had this major band here and then you had another band at 795, hey, that'd have been awesome. Gets on top of 790, looking for the momentum push to 795, easy. And of course, take profit and see there. But no, it's just not worth it. I mean, take your profit. So with that said, pushes down back to 780 liquidity, back to the VWAP. Of course, if you're below the VWAP, there's always sellers at it. If you're above it, coming down, there's always going to be buyers at it. With that said, buyers finally came back in again at 780. They pushed it all the way back up to 787. See the sellers came. See a nice band of sellers that came in back in the book there before it got there. Again, this is all leading. This ain't after the fact stuff. This is all, you can see all this in live time. So with that said, finally gets back on the VWAP, support on the VWAP, ends up pushing all the way back up to this 789. And again, prime example here, another big band of sellers come in just below another one. It's all but guaranteed to be heading down. So with that said, this is today's order book session. Hope that helped you out. If you're not using an order book and you're trading, you are truly, you're trading blind. Because again, this is the number one leading indicator in the stock market. So again, definitely encourage you, if you want to learn more how to use it and also, be part of a server that's taking advantage of this, this tool all throughout the day, feel free to come check us out. Love to have you in for a visit. So with that said, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day, and may the market be with you.